ambition, the bigger your career. Not so for our next guest. He plays a big guy on Nickelodeon's Big Time Rush. Take a look at his weight loss journey.
It was a year ago. I was a successful Hollywood actor finishing the second season of my hit TV show, Big Time Rush, but I was in big trouble. At 350 pounds, I was overweight and unhealthy. As an actor, I never felt my weight held me back. In fact, it was an asset, as I always saw myself as the funny, fat, loudmouth guy. And as a stand-up comedian, it worked perfectly. But I was really unhealthy and getting worse. Then in October of 2011, I was filming a movie in Canada when I had a scary realization. I was on diabetic medication and I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I knew at that moment I had to change my life. I started working out with Eric the trainer and I went on a strict diet plan. It took work, but now a year and a half later and 100 pounds lighter, I'm medication free and I have a new vision of my life. The funny, loudmouth, over-the-top, but healthy comedian.
Amazing. Please welcome Stephen Kramer Glickman. Yeah! Amazing. It's a pleasure. I'm so good.
Nice to see you.
I'm sweaty.
You smell great. Don't worry. You're terrific. You look terrific.
That is incredible. Tell everybody, how did you do it? Was it just Eric the trainer motivating you?
He changed my life, man. He changed my life.
And you were worried that it would affect your career, losing this weight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're a big guy and that's what your career has become, is like you're the funny big guy.
Honey, I know it. I was the big girl. You know?
It's tricky because then you drop it, and then who is that person? Like, what kind of career will that person have? And I was really afraid to do it because I thought if I did it, I would just I could lose my job or something. And thank God, when I dropped it, I dropped like 80 pounds when I came back to season 3 from doing the movie to season 3.
So how long? How long did it take to do 80 pounds?
80 pounds was like
a blur.
It was like that.
No, come on.
Maybe like,
come on. Really?
I think the 80 pounds went within about 8 months of working out. And it was like working out and just changing like my eating, like everything. It was
Okay, so how hard was that?
It was difficult, but you know, when it comes to weight loss, like I grew up during the diet crazes. Like I did the Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and you know, all those.
We're like soulmates, because I did too.
I know. And they're tricky because like when you lose, like those can work for people. Like I've seen them work for people, but you have to be ready to do it. And I just like never was ready. Like I just never wanted to make that kind of change in my life.
So what made you ready this time?
I was sick all the time. Like I was getting, like aside from like the pre-diabetic stuff and having to take my blood sugar and things just being out of control, I was getting like panic attacks all the time, and I was getting like heart problems, or I was constantly like having like chest pains and feeling sick in my stomach all the time, and I was getting tonsillitis, which is like a really.
So all this was contributing.
It was all because of being unhealthy.
Wow.
And I didn't know really like what to do, but it just, when you've been unhealthy for so long, it just kind of becomes like part of your thing. You're like, well, I'm the guy who like brings the pills with me whenever I go out. Like you get used to it after a while, and that's a real danger, is getting comfortable in like your in your.
You got complacent.
Yeah, I got complacent.
And you're a young guy.
Yeah. So I had this incident happen that's totally bizarre. My mom and like
who's here? Who came
my
in
mom's
from Canada?
Here.
Hi, Mom.
My mom and my sister had been like really behind me, like always kind of like pushing and saying like, you should try to lose weight, and you're so unhealthy. We want the best for you. And like I'd hear it, and it would just kind of sit there. And I was out in Vancouver, Canada. I was shooting Big Time Movie, which was like a ton of fun to do, but I kept getting sick when I was out there. And we were in the middle of the forest somewhere, and I had like a real health scare while we were shooting, and I felt terrible. And I was in my dressing room and I talked to my mom on the phone. I was like, I feel so bad, like I feel so sick. And she was like, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. And I was like, yeah, when there's a sign for me to lose weight. I'm a successful actor on a very successful like teen show. Like I'm okay. When there's a sign, I'll do it. Thanks a lot, Mom. And like hung up, got off the phone with her, and I'm sitting there in my dressing room, and we had these plastic fireplaces in the dressing room, and to keep us warm because it's Vancouver, it's freezing. And my fireplace is on. It's fake though. It's plastic logs, and then you hear like a bang, and I was like, well, I look over, and the light's out in the fireplace, and I was like, oh, that's weird. You know, that's like a weird thing. And I go back to my computer, and I'm working, and then I see it comes back on the fireplace.
That was a sign?
Yeah. Well, I was like, oh yeah. So I look over at the fireplace, and it's on actual fire.
So that was your sign?
Yeah, my trailer started going up in flames.
Oh my gosh.
Like 5 minutes after I talked to my mom on the phone, and I was like, I need to grab my computer. I grabbed my computer and my suit, and I ran out of my trailer, and I yelled out to some guy, like some PA, and I was like, my fireplace is on fire! And he was like, it's supposed to be like that. And I was like, it's on action. I turned back, and my whole trailer is like up in blazes.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, that's the thing. That's it. That's the sign.
Well, let me bring in Eric, the trainer. How has it been working with him? It must be so thrilling for you to help these people just have this incredible transformation.
It is thrilling. And all we did was actually 3 things. We aligned his exercise, his diet, and his sleep. Sleep being the most important. Sleep is when physical transformation happens. And so by prioritizing sleep in his life, that's when we saw the real change occur.
Wow. So what advice do you have for other people that want to do this too?
You know, like the thing that I did while I was doing the weight loss was I documented it, and I have so many kid fans that I just kept sending out pictures like, I've lost 10 pounds, here's a picture of me on the scale, here's me at 20 pounds, and I just kept doing this to these kids so that they could see that like it's a real thing, that like it doesn't, you don't need to have surgery, you don't need to have something. I haven't weighed what I weigh right now since I was 15.
Wow.
So like it's a huge change to my life, and it feels amazing. I mean, I went from, to give you an idea, I was a 5XL t-shirt, and now I'm a 2XL.
Incredible. Yay. Yay. Amazing.
And for Hanukkah this year, my lovely girlfriend got me my first pair of size 40 pants, which I've never been able to wear before.
Well,
I was always like a 54. So
pleasure to have you
it's
here.
Great. Thanks for having me.
You can catch Kramer Glickman on Nickelodeon's Big Time Rush.
Oh, yeah.
And be sure to check out his comedy album, Stories for Grown-Ups. And everyone in the audience is going home with a copy.
Yo, got a copy.
Yay! It's an embarrassment of riches. Up next.